discuss about the ear, its structure, parts and its function. So ear consists of three parts, namely external ear, middle ear and the internal ear. So जो ear है आपका उसके three parts होते हैं, external ear, middle ear and the internal ear. Ear is one of the most sensory organ in our body, which is responsible for the hearing, and along with the hearing, the other important function of the ear is to balance your body or coordination of your body. So external ear is formed by two parts, that is known as auricle or the ear pinna, external auditory meters. So in this diagram we will see about the discuss about the different parts of the ear. Here we can see this is the outer part which is visible, made up of cartilages. This particular part is known as ear auricle or ear pinna. So here next is this is the opening. This is a round opening that is known as concha, and from here one tube-like structure goes inside the ear. This tube-like structure is known as external auditory meters. Here in external auditory meters, various sebaceous glands, hair cells are present, which are responsible for the formation of wax in this area. After moving this external auditory meters, this ear pinna and the external auditory meters is the part of external ear. Then we move inside this a dish shaped like structure. This is known as tympanic membrane or the your eardrum. It is a part from here the middle ear starts, and this eardrum, after eardrum three ossicles are present in the middle ear. This pinkish part inside this is known as the middle ear. Here first part is your eardrum, tympanic membrane. Second is your ossicles. These are the ear bones, names malleus, incus and stapes. And one more structure is there, that is your Steuvian tube. This Steuvian tube is opening into the nasopharynx. It is also the part of middle ear. Next is after middle ear we move to the inner ear. Inner ear is innermost part of the ear. This bluish part, this part is known as inner ear, where made up of two structures, that is cochlea and the semicircular canal or vestibular apparatus. This inner ear is the responsible for the mechanism of hearing and plus your balancing of the body through the vestibular apparatus. This is the cochlea, this part snail-like structure, and this here where the semicircular canals are present, this part is known as your vestibular apparatus, where the fluid-filled semicircular canals are there. So these are the three parts. This one is your external ear, this ear pinna and the external auditory meters, tube-like structure. And here this middle ear start with the eardrum, three ossicles. Along with the ossicles there are two muscles are there in the middle ear. One more structure, that is Steuvian tube, which opens to nasopharynx for the relieving the pressure which is created inside this middle ear cavity or tympanic cavity. Third one is your internal ear. Internal ear, this innermost part of the ear, where two structures, one is cochlea, this snail-like structure, other one is the vestibular apparatus, which is made up of semicircular canals having the lymph or endolymphic or perilymph fluid is present. So external ear, first part is your ear auricle or ear pinna. Ear auricle or ear pinna of the external ear consists of cartilaginous plate covered by connective tissue and the skin. And skin covering the plate is having thin, many fine hairs and the sebaceous glands. Next, your external auditory meters. This is a tube-like structure. External auditory meter starts from the concha, this round opening, and extends inside till the eardrum with a length of 55 mm. The length of external auditory meters is about 55 mm. This external auditory meters consist of two parts. One is outer is the cartilaginous part and other is the inner bony part. Cartilaginous part is the initial part of the external auditory meters, made up of cartilage covered by the skin, and it is very stiff and having the your hair cells are there. The hairs prevent the entry of the foreign particles. Large sebaceous glands and the cutaneous glands are also present in the covering this portion. These glands are coiled and tubular in nature and opens to the surface of the skin. The secretion of these glands are for the formation of the ear wax. Bony part, inner part of the external auditory meatus is also covered by skin which is attached closely to the periosteum. Only sebaceous glands are present in there. Small fine hair are also present on the superior wall of the canal. Next is your middle ear. Middle ear or the tympanic cavity is a small, narrow, irregular, compressed chamber situated within the temporal bone. It is also known as tympanum. So middle ear है आपका, that is very is not having particular shape. It's very small cavity known as tympanic cavity. Narrow है, irregular है और compressed chamber है situated in the temporal bone. It is separated from external auditory meatus by a tympanic membrane or the eardrum. Middle ear consists of the following structure. Middle ear में three structures है. Auditory ossicles, these are the bones. Auditory muscles, two muscles, and the Schivian tube. First is your tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is also known as a very transparent membrane, very fine membrane known as eardrum. Tympanic membrane is a thin semi-transparent membrane which separates the middle ear from the external auditory meatus. Next is the periphery of the membrane is fixed to the tympanic sulcus in the surrounding bony ring by the means of fibrocartilage. So tympanic membrane आपका disc-like structure है, that separates the middle ear and the external ear, and it is also known as eardrum. Auditory ossicles, these are the most important part of the middle ear, or the three minute structure or bones in the form of chain extending from the middle ear from the tympanic membrane to the oval window, that is a part of your inner ear. Auditory ossicles, these are the ossicles are the bones, malleus, incus and stapes. Malleus, here you can see this is the malleus, here you can incus and stapes. Malleus, before malleus we have this tympanic membrane. Malleus is connected with the tympanic membrane. Here this side opening is the external auditory meatus is there. Incus is a middle bone and stapes is connected with the middle inner ear, that is your cochlea. Along with the cochlea, malleus is the first bone of the ear ossicles and it is also known as hammer. It has a handle, head and neck. Handle is called manubrium and it is attached to a tympanic membrane. Next, head or the capitulum articulates with the body of incus. Incus, second ossicle. Incus is also known as anvil. It looks like a premolar tooth. Incus has body, one long process and other short process. Interior surface of the articulates with the head of malleus. The short process is attached to a ligament. Stapes is also called stirrup. This is the smallest bone in the body which is connected with the stapedus, that is the smallest muscle in the body. It has a head, neck and anterior crest, posterior crest and a foot plate. Head articulates with the incus, foot plate fits into the oval window. Next we have the auditory muscles. Two skeletal muscles are there, tensor tympani and the stapedus. Stapedus is connected with the stapes bone and tensor tympani is connected with the malleus. Tensor tympani is larger of the two muscles of tympanic cavity. Tensor tympani arises from the cartilaginous portion of the Schivian tube and adjacent to the great wing of sphenoid bone and the osseous canals. Inserted into the malleus, which is in turn attached to the tympanic membrane. So tensor tympani is attached to the tympanic membrane through the malleus. Tensor tympani muscle pulls and keeps the tympanic membrane and stretched over tensed constantly. Because this constant stretching of the tympanic membrane is essential for the transmission of sound waves which may reach any part of the tympanic membrane. Because this tensor tympani is a muscle that is connected with the malleus and malleus is connected with the tympanic membrane. So when the sound waves reaches from the external auditory meters, it can reach to any part of the tympanic membrane. So when it vibrates, it will let you vibrate the malleus and the sound waves are transmitted further. Next is paralysis of tension tympani causes hearing impairment. Next is your stapedus. Stapedus is the smallest skeletal muscle with a length of just 1 mm. Stapedus arises from the interior pyramid of the tympanic cavity and inserted in the posterior surface neck of steps. It is supplied by the facial nerve. Stapedus prevents the excess movement of steps. When it contracts, it pulls the neck of the steps backwards and reduces the movement of foot plate against the fluid in cochlea. So stapedus is a muscle that covers the steps which prevent the excess movement of the step. मतलब उतना ही मूवमेंट करवाती है स्टेप्स को जितना आपका साउंड वेव्स का रिक्वायरमेंट होता है ईयर में एंड द अदर बिकॉज इफ द स्टैपिडस steps bone will vibrate, then it will also causes the vibration the fluid that is present in the cochlea. Paralysis of the stapedus allows wider range of oscillation in the steps, which leads to hyperreactions of auditory cycles or sound vibration. This is called hyperacusis. Paralysis of the stapedus occurs in the lesion of facial nerve. Next is your tympanic reflex. So these were the cycles, that is your आपका muscles है और ossicles है malleus, incus, steps. These are the three ossicles present in the ear. Next we have the muscles, tension tympani and the stapedus. Next, the use of all these muscles and the coordination between these three ossicles, that is known as tympanic reflex. Tympanic reflex is an ordination reflex that creates involuntary contraction of the tension tympani and the stapedus muscle in response to a loud noise. It has a latent period of 40 to 80 milliseconds. When both the muscles contract, manubrium of the malleus moves inward and steps is pulled outward. These two actions results in stiffness of auditory cycle so that the transmission of sound is decreased. Next is significance of tympanic reflex. Tympanic reflex protects the tympanic membrane from being ruptured by loud sound. It also prevents fixation of the foot plate of steps against oval window during exposure to loud sound. It also protects the cochlea from damaging effects of loud sounds. Contraction of the tension tympani and stapedus during exposure to loud sounds develops stiffness of the auditory ossicles so that transmission of the sound waves into cochlea is decreased. Next is your Chauvin tube. Chauvin tube or the auditory tube. It is a flattened canal extending from the interior wall of middle ear to the nasopharynx, and the use of this that Chauvin tube connects the middle ear with the posterior part of the nose and forms the passage of air between the middle ear and the atmosphere. So the pressure created in the middle ear cavity or tympanic cavity because of the regular vibration of the sound waves or these muscles and the ossicles, the heat is produced and the inside pressure is created. So this pressure should be released from an opening. So this tube reduces the pressure on both the sides of tympanic membrane by equalizing or releasing it from the nasopharynx. Next part is your internal ear. Internal ear is the innermost part of the ear which is responsible for the hearing and the balancing or equilibrium of your body. It consists of sense organs of hearing and the equilibrium. Sense organs of hearing is the cochlea and the sense organ for the coordination is your vestibular apparatus. First is your cochlea. Cochlea is a coil-like structure like a snail's shell. It consists of two structures. Central conical axis formed by spongy bone called modulus, bony canal or tube which winds around the modulus. Compartment of cochlea. Cochlea have the two membranes, the basilar membrane and the vestibular membrane. Basilar membrane is a connective tissue membrane. It stretches from the tip of the osseous spiral lamina through the dense fibrous band is called spiral ligaments. Basilar membrane is also called membranous spiral lamina. Along with the basilar membrane, 20,000 to 30,000 tiny fibers are called the bacillus fibers. Here we can see this part is the inner part, that is a cochlea. Here that is a vestibular membrane. This is a vestibular membrane, and some other parts are also there, that some where the fluid is filled, that is a vestibulo, scala vestibuli, scala tympani, and the here we can see cochlear division of the 8 cranial nerve is coming here. This part is basilar membrane. This is the basilar membrane. This is the vestibular membrane, and here the scala media, cochlear duct with endoleaf, and the tectorial membrane, and this organ of Corti, where the different types of cells are present. Vestibular membrane, here this upper part, that is the basilar membrane, is at the base, and this vestibular membrane is on the upper part of the cochlea. So vestibular membrane, it also known as resonant membrane, and it is a thin membrane placed obliquely between the upper surface of osseous spiral lamina and upper part of spiral ligaments. Compartment of spiral canal of cochlea that consists scala vestibuli, scala tympani, and scala media. All three compartments are filled with the fluid. Scala vestibuli and scala tympani contains the perilymph. Scala media is filled with the endolymph. Organ of Corti is the receptor organ for the hearing. It is a neuroepithelial structure in the cochlea. So this organ of Corti is responsible for the hearing. That here in this diagram we can see the different types of cells are there, which hair cells are there, which are responsible for the sound or the hearing. That here this is the outer tunnel or the outer hairs, inner hairs, cells of Hansen, cells of gliders, this inner pillar hairs, inner tunnel, and here these are the nerve fibers, cochlear nerve. These are the border cells, outer phalangeal cells. All these cells are responsible for the hearing or the sound mechanism. So organ of Corti is made up of sensory elements called the hair cells and the various supporting cells. Cells of organ of Corti with different types of cells are present that are responsible for the conduction of hearing mechanism, that is border cells, inner hair cells, inner phalangeal cells, inner pillar cells, outer pillar cells, outer phalangeal cells, outer hair cells, cells of Hansen, cells of gliders, tectorial membrane, and lamina reticularis. All these are the different cells in the organ of Corti, which are the important part and in creation of the action potential, which in turn created the impulses which carry to the higher centers. Next is the auditory pathway. Fibers of the auditory pathway passes through the cochlear division of vestibulocochlear nerve, which is the 8th cranial nerve. It is also known as auditory nerve. Major part of the auditory nerve lies in the medulla oblongata, midbrain, and the thalamic region. All these are the higher centers in the brain. Medulla oblongata is a part of hindbrain, then moves on the midbrain, and then the thalamic region. Higher center of the hearing is in temporal lobe of the cerebral cortex, where the fibers of auditory pathway finally terminates. Fibers are both crossed and uncrossed so that each cochlea is represented in the cortex on both the sides. So receptors, next hair cells in the organ of Corti are the receptors of the auditory sensation. Hair cells are of two types, outer hair cells and inner hair cells. All the hair cells are innervated by the efferent and efferent nerve fibers. Efferent nerve fibers from the hair cells from the auditory nerve. Cortical auditory centers. Cortical auditory centers are in the temporal lobe of cerebral cortex. Auditory areas are the primary auditory area and the secondary auditory area. Functions of cortical auditory centers means these are the centers which are the higher centers where the perception of the sound waves or the sound is processed. Cortical auditory centers are concerned with the perception of auditory impulses, analysis of pitch and intensity of sound, and determination of sound of source of sound. Here, after reaching on the cortical, that is your temporal cortex, the sound which came from the ear, it has to be then perceptions to be done whether what kind of impulses, what kind of pitch of the sound, what is the intensity of the sound, and Determination of the source of sound. Area 41 and 42 are concerned with the perception of auditory impulses, and this interpretation of the sounds are carried by the Wernicke's area with the help of area 22. All these are the centers which are present in the temporal cortex. Mechanism of hearing. So this mechanism tells about the how the sound has been travel through the external ear, middle ear, internal ear, and to the high centers. Sound waves travel through the external auditory meters and produces vibrations in the tympanic membrane. So from your ear pinna, the sound travels to external auditory meters and then it moves to the tympanic membrane, which vibrates. Vibrations from the tympanic membrane travel through the malleus, incus, and reach the steps, resulting in the movement of the steps. These are the three ear ossicles. Movement of the steps produces vibration in the fluids of the cochlea. These vibrations stimulate the hair cells in the organ of Corti, causes generation of action potential in the auditory nerve fiber. When the auditory impulses reach the cerebral cortex, the perception of the hearing occurs. During the process of hearing, ear converts energy of sound waves into action potential in auditory nerve fibers. This process is called sound transduction. So this was the parts of the ear and the mechanism of hearing. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and share it.